Có một ngành từ lâu được xem là ngành công nghiệp không khói, đó chính là du lịch. Tuy không có nhà máy, không sử dụng nguyên liệu tự nhiên, nhưng ngành công nghiệp này lại cần đến cơ sở hạ tầng đầy đủ và hiện đại, nhà cửa, đường xá, bến bãi, phương tiện giao thông, vân vân. Bên cạnh những yếu tố thiên nhiên, lịch sử và văn hóa độc đáo, ngành du lịch mang lại nguồn lợi nhuận lớn, đặc biệt là ngoại tệ, đóng góp quan trọng cho nhiều nền kinh tế. Theo báo cáo của tổ chức World Travel Market, năm 2011, ngành du lịch duy trì được đà tăng trưởng nhưng với tốc độ chậm hơn so với năm 2010 do giá cả leo thang và người dân hạn chế chi tiêu. Nhưng theo dự báo của các chuyên gia, năm 2012, số lượng du khách trên toàn thế giới vẫn đạt mức 1 tỷ người và con số chi tiêu vào khoảng 1.000 tỷ đô la Mỹ. Riêng Việt Nam năm 2011 lại là năm lạc quan cho ngành du lịch khi có đến hơn 6 triệu lượt khách, vượt xa con số của các năm trước. Thế nhưng liệu Việt Nam có tạo ra được nhiều sản phẩm du lịch độc đáo để thu hút nhiều hơn số lượng khách du lịch quốc tế ngày càng hướng về châu Á? Và để có những sản phẩm này, du lịch Việt Nam phải chuẩn bị những gì để hoàn thiện đội ngũ nhân lực trẻ tuổi và còn nhiều tiềm năng phát triển này?
Chào quý vị đến với chương trình Cận Cảnh. Câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta là câu chuyện về các cái sản phẩm du lịch độc đáo và cái nhu cầu phát triển nhân lực để mà phát triển những cái sản phẩm này. Hôm nay chúng tôi mời đến trường quay một chuyên gia, không những là một chuyên gia về du lịch mà còn là một người nước ngoài có nhiều năm sống ở Việt Nam. Thạc sĩ Nixon Chung, chủ tịch tập đoàn bất động sản và quản trị Windsor. Bản thân ông Nixon Chung cũng là giảng viên về du lịch và quản trị của trường đại học Hồng Kông Polytechnic. Hi, Mr. Nixon Chung. Thank you for your coming. I still remember I met you 20 years ago. At that time, you used to be the first general manager of the New World Hotel in Ho Chi Minh City. Time is now over fast. And you're living in Ho Chi Minh City so far regularly, quite often. You travel between Vietnam and the world.
I have been traveling back and forth, to Vietnam since I left in 1997. But since 2010, I've been residing again in Ho Chi Minh City.
And so far, how you enjoy life in Vietnam?
Every single visit, to Vietnam, I always have the same feeling. I always feel young when I come back.
Yes, you're still young, I believe. And but however, a expat and a foreign visitor, how you see the difference about tourism demand?
I think interesting enough, you've noticed that there are more and more expatriates right now living, in Vietnam all over the countries. Like Ho Chi Minh City, you see a lot of Japanese, Korean, people like us from Hong Kong, and even a lot of those in Western countries. In terms of tourism demand, not only are we catering to international foreign visitors, I think the expatriate is a growing demand in the country.
Yeah, it's a new point we should mention. Yes, last year we got 6 million tourists. However, now I think few 100,000 foreigners living in Vietnam also
Right.
Target for tourism industry.
Right.
You work for a year in hotel, in tourism industry in Vietnam. When you recommend Vietnam or you marketing Vietnam, what the point you mentioned about our tourism product? Any unique?
Before that, people used to market Vietnam as a, unexplored destination, and with beautiful scenery, sunshine, various cultures. But I think more and more, I discover the attraction of Vietnam is young population. It's a very young country. It is very unique, Vietnam. Everybody coming here, if they can get the feeling of being young, being vibrant, I think there's a unique offerings that Vietnam can give, to the international tourism.
Amazing. You think one of the unique that young population, not sun, not only sun, not only sea, not only sand, but how about the service?
So when I mention young population, definitely a differentiating factor of tourism is the level of your service. and it very much depends on, the training of the people, and especially I see potential of Vietnam in that sense because, as I mentioned, we have a very young population, which with the internet world nowadays, they're getting more information, they're getting more well educated. So I would say that Vietnam has great potential of developing friendly and knowledgeable people.
Noticeable people. I think when we talk about the SR, I want to come back with you with that point. But let's say about the unique product. Many countries still, tourist number now, always growing up, always higher than Vietnam, like Singapore, like Hong Kong, like Thailand. What the difference is their unique product in comparison with Vietnam?
I think they are much more matured in terms of infrastructure, so that a lot of destinations like in Thailand are more accessible. I would recommend Vietnam to really look into improving infrastructure from the north to the south. The unique point about tourism of Vietnam, you offer a diverse product from the north, central Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, and down south. So the infrastructure connecting, all these cultural and tourism destination become a very unique selling point of traveling into this country.
Of course, now the competition quite strong. We talk about, you said that we have to add on more tourism product, exciting thing. But you just mentioned that our young population is one of the unique. Can you explain more that and how we can compete for that aspect with another country?
Because if you really build something from scratch in our what I call tourism real estate development, it will take time, to build a resort, to build a hotel, and to build, infrastructure. It takes time. The immediate effect, of human beings, is the interaction with the people. If our people can be a differentiating factor, and that they are the one who providing the best services, knowledgeable people, and think there's one major attraction with very minimal investment, I would say we see faster and quicker return.
I believe that you are mastering about tourism industry in Hong Kong, in China, in many Asian countries.
Right.
Could you please give us example how these countries invest to human resources? Otherwise, no waiting for developing infrastructure or product.
For that, I must say Hong Kong has made a very outstanding, example, of its tourism development because they have a big market, globally, and they also have a huge market from China. So that's why Hong Kong has been investing a lot, in tourism training. The Hong Kong Polytechnic University, where I came from, recently opened its first hotel, in the campus.
Yeah.
So they are, on one hand, showing industry that, you have to teach and provide the right training to the people, but yet, you have to have a thorough understanding of the market. So by operating a hotel by itself.
After 20 years so far living and working in Vietnam, can you give us any your praise or your complaint about the tourism labor, tourism at all?
I would not like to see the same things happen in other developing countries when you have overbuilt of hotels, tourism product, and yet the service level is all going down because it's lack of people. The people are not willing to work in this industry because it is industry where we require people long working hours and working on shift, things like that.
Currently on the internet, some bloggers complain about the travel in Vietnam. They got disturbed by many one, even that people they charge the tourists quite high, etc. tourism manager, how you can respond, how you can resolve this crisis?
I think it's not a matter of charging high or low. It's a matter of whether or not you are delivering value. You know, nobody will complain about your price, you know, if you have the value to offer. So I think what we really need to determine and define is what are our values offering to our international tourists of coming into Vietnam.
It's the role of manager, not only just the tourism staff. Chúng ta vừa có cuộc trao đổi về cái bức tranh phát triển các cái sản phẩm du lịch của Việt Nam. Đặc biệt như ông Nixon Chung nhấn mạnh, một cái tài nguyên, một cái điều rất là thú vị của Việt Nam chính là cái nguồn nhân lực. Trong cái phần kế tiếp chúng ta sẽ trao đổi tiếp về những quan điểm về việc phát triển nhân lực du lịch của Việt Nam. Rất vui gặp lại quý vị trong chương trình cận cảnh về các sản phẩm du lịch độc đáo và nhu cầu phát triển nhân lực cho du lịch. Yes, Mr. Nixon. Come back the matter of tourism at all. You mentioned that Vietnam have a very excited young population, and of course that is very great human resources for tourism industry. However, about the standard requirement, people talk much about English language fluency, professional skill, special hospitality, or transcultural knowledge. Which one you think the most important when we mention about the human training, the human development for tourism industry in Vietnam?
Language competence is definitely very important because communication is required, you know, with the international visitors. But the mentality of able to serve people, what I call passion to serve, and also the knowledge to sell a product, you know, is very important. As I see around in Vietnam, you know, there's so many young people, you know, they are educated. Some of those came back overseas. So you have a very young workforce who learn a lot of things. You know, so I would like to see, you know, those who have at school right now, you know, during the summer time, to be able to get a summer job, you know, and get themselves trained in the service industry. I think by working in the industry, you know, what I call action learning. A lot of these skills and all that cannot be learned just at school. So it has to be a combination of skills training as well as actual work exposure.
It means that you see that we need more internship, more experiment.
I would recommend, you know, the university students, the summertime, just to go and get a job in a restaurant, in a hotel, for a couple of months, you know, and get that real experience and what service is all about.
Every student,
Yes.
not just
Not
tourism
just- not
student.
just- yes.
Yeah.
No?
Because they should learn that the country must go to services.
Right.
And
Right.
and they find a job not just because make money, because
Right.
they want to learn
Right.
How the service. Yeah.
Service, and the other thing, if I would like to add, is about selling techniques.
Yeah.
You know, selling techniques. Friendly people, young people, if they can serve, and if they can also sell, that make a lot of difference.
We just talk about service culture. So far, I see that many young people, when they apply to study tourism, they will look at for the degree, the bachelor degree. For business administration training, it's the same. People always want to expect after graduation, they become manager. They prefer to go to GM position soon, etc. And that's why many of them not give priority for staff training, for staff level career. I think it's not only in Vietnam, but for your experience, how we consider the reason and what we can change?
Okay, I think we have to realize the fact that, getting a degree is not difficult right now. Getting a career, a job, prospect in an organization is not for everybody. I think in our hospitality and tourism industry is very unique in the way that, you don't need a master degree or even the degree to be a general manager. A very good example in that you can see in the industry, we have people who is a chef, working as a chef, becoming a restaurant owner. A bellboy, work himself up to be a general manager. It is proven, that in an industry, people who really devote themselves, to the industry and learn, throughout their career, have an opportunity to get into higher position.
It's like you say that don't focus on degree, focus on the benefit from learning and how you can practice from broad level to high-end level. Let's say about the management level, how you